So when Christmas rolls around, it's this internal debate, I think, that I usually lose in full candor of, do I eat the second cookie or the third or the fourth? But do you all have tips and tricks for not, like, the self-control of, like, not eating the second cookie? Because the amount of things you can rationalize with, it's Christmas time, screw it, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard this strategy from an influencer that I follow.
Okay.
2 Christmases ago, and I have been following it ever since. And it's about how to eat healthy during the holiday season.
Okay.
And at every family dinner, she would just pack in as much protein as possible right off the bat. Your first plate is a full plate of turkey or ham, whatever it is, and you just pound that turkey. And then after that, whatever your stomach has room for, go after it with 5 cookies.
I like this.
Because protein is the only thing that satiates you.
Yeah.
And so the carbs aren't going to do it. All the rest of the sides aren't going to do it.
Yep.
Pack in the protein, call it a day, and then whatever else you have room for, go after it.
There we go. I
Free
like that.
game.
Okay, that's a great theory. Well, and we had talked earlier this year about the trend of, like, kind of the order in which you eat food, and there's this whole trend around, like, eating vegetables first and, like, getting that fiber in, and then you bring in your protein, and then, like, carbs is very last. And that, I do like that, because you still have this ability. Well, so you eat the fiber, and then you eat the protein, and then you have your carbs last, and the idea is, like, your body just metabolizes everything much, much better. Totally. And I think also, you're not as full for the second, third, fourth cookie. So I've tried to be conscientious of that this year, because there is a little bit of this thing when you're like, as an adult, and you're like, oh, like, if I want to go home and, like, eat the cookies first before dinner, I can.
I feel like you say that every single time, and I'm like, what did you eat as a kid? Like, were you not given cookies? No, because you said that at least 2 or 3 more times.
My mom was pretty healthy, yeah.
I mean, that's fine. That's
and
good.
I like being
Thank you,
healthy.
Mom.
Yeah. So I would say I have graduated from eating cookies for dinner. Everyone can be glad for that.
Yeah, I mean,
especially my body.
I think it's no surprise at this point. I've told this show a million times. I also am very conscious about what I'm eating.
It's like you do CrossFit or something?
Yeah. 2 minutes in.
2 minutes in.
That's
We're a little
record.
late this time.
But no, to your point, absolutely. You want to load up on protein. I actually have been really conscious about it this go around. Usually I'm kind of like, let's send it. Let's just have a good time. Have that extra, cookie, have that side that looks delicious. All of the desserts, all of the sugar. But this time around, my perspective has kind of shifted, and I always try to hit my protein goal before indulging, at least at night, and I do that over the course of the day. You can fast at the beginning of the day a little bit more and eat your breakfast later, or just have a lunch. But one trick that has worked so well for me, and I did so well at our Christmas party here this year, I had a protein shake before going. So I wasn't hungry. I mean, I was still a little hungry, but I felt kind of full already.
Yum.
So I didn't feel the need to go and get that 8th dumpling or, all of those things.
Okay, but the dumplings at the Christmas party,
they were amazing. I said 8th.
So
And then when it comes to alcohol too, which is obviously something people are like, oh, whatever. I bought one of those wine advent calendars from Costco, and I actually haven't really been using it because, again, very conscious, but switching between water and your beverage of choice is an option. So
I like that.
I think balance. The only other thing is perspective wise, like, how many Christmas parties have you gone to this year?
4 or 5.
Yeah, I've been to like 4 or 5 as well. And it's like, that's the number of meals in a 365-year calendar that are, off, or like that you're indulging in. So that perspective, I think,
I wish
helps.
I could say those were the only ones I was indulging in, Kristen. I don't know what kind of life you're living. We got some birthday parties happening and Valentine's
My point
Day.
is, this is not happening. You're not going to 5 Christmas parties in 2 weeks.
This is not
normally.
normal life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So give yourself grace. Love. Food is fun.
Food is fun. And it should be fun. So there's been, I mean, it is normal, right? There's so many health trends. I feel like especially though, as we're becoming more and more health conscious as a society, we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes with RFK and the MAHA movement, that now is becoming more and more mainstream. This idea of being healthy, and social media, I think, has played a big role in this. You mentioned getting that tip from an influencer. Like, that's how we get a lot of our health information now. And so there's all of these health trends that have really been furthered in society because of influencers. So we're just gonna say, I'm gonna just go through, I would say 8 of some of the top ones for this year, and just show of hands, of if you have tried this, because you think about our health industry right now, and according to Global Wellness Institute, the health and wellness industry in America is a $1.8 trillion industry. I mean, we as Americans, we are spending a lot of money on our gym memberships, on our healthy food, on our workout equipment, whatever it might be.
Unhealthy but vain.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. Intermittent fasting, number one. Anyone do intermittent fasting this year?
Not really.
Too much of a breakfast girl for that.
Okay,
Well, yeah.
I tried it for a while.
I mean, I
How'd it
delay
go?
my breakfast intake.
It was okay. So I will say I read a really, really helpful book called Fast Like a Girl that talks about how to fast with your hormones. If you're going to do intermittent fasting as a woman,
Interesting.
you need to read that book, because there's certain times of the month where you should not be fasting because you need the food because of where your hormones are at. Intermittent fasting, yeah. Carnivore diet. Anyone try? Okay.
Massive
You're all over carnivore diet.
Massive.
Is that your lifestyle?
So, not all the time.
Okay.
If I am choosing one of the fad diets, it will be carnivore for sure.
So
Yeah.
do you not eat any vegetables?
So I didn't for a while. Whenever I was in engagement season, trying to prep for wedding, and I just full sent carnivore.
Interesting.
I would have.
Yeah, walk us through like a quick day.
I mean, it was carnivore plus a ton of eggs.
Yeah.
The only
I feel like does that not constitute as carnivore because it's a product of an animal?
You're right. It's
think
in the
still
same boat.
carnivore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. No, I was consuming at least 8 eggs a day at one point.
Wow.
Just hard boiled, popping them in all the time.
Nice.
Tons of steak. As y'all will come
Okay.
to find out, I am a beef over chicken girl every single day.
Love it.
So a ton of red meat. And then if I was doing any sort of vegetables, it was spinach on the side, maybe.
Okay.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it. Cold plunge. Any cold plungers?
I've done it like for soccer, and I've done it a few times with CrossFit when I have really bad back injuries or things like that, but
Yeah.
not for the, endorphin rush that people do it now for.
Okay.
I don't have a plunge tub or anything.
Yeah, I tried it once this year. I did thoroughly enjoy it. Not on a regular basis. Juice cleanses? Anyone do a juice cleanse this year?
Love meat too much.
Okay. Yeah, I did not either. A collagen powder? Are we putting it in our coffee?
Yeah, every day.
Still on it.
Okay, there we go. Some sort of fitness watch apps. You got yours.
Totally. I was
Okay,
an Aura ring girl.
Oh, same.
Oring.
Ah,
Very
you got
nice.
both.
How about ditching cleaning products with harmful chemicals for all natural cleaning products? I've not gotten there yet.
Ooh, you've done it.
Oh yeah,
You've
so
done
much
it.
so I made
Okay.
my own.
Oh my gosh.
What?
To say that they are as effective is a stretch.
Ooh, interesting.
So whenever we have guests coming over, we don't use my homemade dish detergent.
Okay.
Just to, make sure that they have a nice experience at our home.
For sure.
But other than that, it does the trick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've used lemon on my cutting boards. Does that count kind of?
Yeah.
It cleans, sterilizes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are your cutting boards all wood?
Yes,
Okay.
they are all wood. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well done.
I love them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I do really like doTERRA's On Guard, and I will sometimes make that a cleaning product. But it's also great for immune system. Anyway, have we ditched seed oils?
Totally.
I don't know. I think I have. I don't know. I don't know what's in seed oil. Does anyone know what's in seed oil or what seed oil is in anymore?
It's in everything.
It's in everything.
Like
Yeah,
absolutely
that's
in
my
everything.
point. I have no idea. I think it's
There's,
all gone.
Like 3 granola bars you can buy that don't have seed oils. It's very
I don't eat
frustrating.
granola bars. I eat granola, but there still might be seed oil.
There's
in that.
definitely seed oil in that.
Totally.
Sorry.
It'll have the, totally marketed as healthy sunflower oil, which is one of the toxic 8.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Good.
Wow. Okay.
Makes
Well, we are celebrating MAHA Christmas today. And I was like, we have to start with a game because it's our Christmas episode. It's our last episode of the year. And obviously, among us, we have a health expert.
Yes.
And a
Expert is
colleague.
not the word for it. Not the word for it.
Well,
Ever learning and adventuring in the health
Yeah.
world.
we're going to get to your story more fully here in a second. But do you mind just introducing yourself? Just a quick 30-second intro.
Absolutely. I'm Justin McAndrews. I work in development here at Heritage. I'm originally a good old Texan cowgirl. Made it up here to DC somehow. Lord willing, the Lord brought me up here after college and worked for the National Cattlemen's Beef Association for a while. My fascination with beef. And then wound up at Heritage about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and have been so honored to be here ever since.
I love it.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very glad to have you here on Problematic Women. I am Virginia Allen.
And I'm Chris Nykammer. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Very early Christmas. If you are listening to us for the very first time, welcome. We release every Wednesday on YouTube and Rumble and every Thursday across podcast platforms. I will say, if you're listening to audio only, there will be some moments during today's show where, it might just be better to
Just go to YouTube.
Just go to YouTube.
My sister listens to this.
But I also
only audio.
understand if
Listen.
you're like driving home for Christmas and you're like, that's dangerous. Don't watch.
Just wait. Just go
Don't
go
watch
look
and
later.
listen. Go look later.
Yeah, come on. It's a
But
Christmas special.
We'll explain what we're doing too. But every week on Problematic Women, we love sorting through the news to find stories that really are of interest specifically to conservative women, or as we say, problematic women. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead, Kristen, and jump in to MAHA Christmas.
MAHA Christmas, but pivoting real quick to, guys, what has been going on in New Jersey?
Yeah, this PSA.
We're
on
not talking about
drones.
health yet, but yes,
Yeah.
PSA.
We're getting there.
I'm not sure if you guys have turned the news on or looked at Twitter. There aren't green men. There's nothing crazy like that going on, but there are drones. And I think it's so crazy that this is our world right now. But if you haven't been keeping up with this, 8 counties in north and central New Jersey have basically seen a huge uptick in drones in their airspace.
8 counties.
8 counties.
Like, that's like almost all of New Jersey.
Let's say, I thought there were only 6.
It's a little state.
I know. It's crazy. And I think the scariest part is a lot of people are asking, hey, federal government, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we'll tell you when we know exactly what's going on, but there is not a threat. And it's like, okay, but what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, don't worry, it's not a threat. And that's all we're getting right now.
Well, I think the disturbing part to me is like it has to be one of two things.
Mhm.
Either the government knows what these drones are, what they're doing, and doesn't want to tell us, or they don't know. And both are equally scary.
And both are equally as bad.
Yeah.
Well, Trump has his thoughts.
He
Yeah.
does. He sure does. Should we go ahead and roll
let's
Trump's
go.
thoughts?
That
This
was a wonderful transition.
Yeah. Well done, Justin. Leading us here. This is his comments at Mar-a-Lago on Monday to press.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. The government.
Oh my gosh.
So Trump says they know.
I wonder if it really is a garage.
It could be.
A secret
Maybe
garage
he's like
full of
leaking.
drones.
I know. I wonder if that was a secret leak.
But what's significant here is he's probably getting the same briefings as, the current
As
president.
POTUS.
Oh, yeah.
So there might be some insight there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, and I mean, he was careful about, I think, what he did and didn't say. But there's so many rumors. I had to laugh. I was at church on Sunday, and like every single male was like in conversation about the drone.
Yes, yes.
Like, this is so good. This is hilarious. But it is just
Because
bizarre.
half of those males own drones
yes.
themselves.
Recreational drones.
Oh yeah, which most of them being owned by China.
Yes. Well, and I think that's the big question, right? Is our adversaries involved?
Mhm.
And I think increasingly we can say maybe not.
Mhm.
But I mean, I was speaking on the Daily Female podcast to Brent Sadler of the Heritage Foundation, who's an expert in these things in national security, and he was like, it's very, very possible that our adversaries are involved in this. So I'm like, anyway, we can't write that off yet. But there's a lot of interesting theories going around, including one from a mayor.
Yes, a New Jersey mayor actually, and he joined a local TV station to kind of give his thoughts on just what could be happening. I think I'm just gonna let him explain it. I'm not even gonna cue this up for everyone, but
Let's roll the clip.
let's roll the clip.
I know that we were told by our state police that we have assets over our critical infrastructure. Now, depending on your point of view, that's either concerning or comforting. I think it's comforting because it's probably us listening and watching. We also know that we have drones that are flying in a grid-like pattern. In my opinion, they're looking for something. What might they be looking for? Well, potentially, we're aware of a threat that came in through Port Newark. Maybe that's radioactive material. There was and there is an alert that's out right now that radioactive material in New Jersey has gone missing on December 2nd. It was a shipment. It arrived at its destination. The container was damaged and it was empty. So potentially we're looking
stop
for
right
that.
there, Mayor, because that's very important information. And that came from a credible source.
That came from the U.S. government.
And so it's missing?
Missing.
And they think it's in New Jersey, or it could be anywhere?
It was lost in New Jersey in transit. And again, this is just an example of what I think that we're sniffing for. I think we do have the assets that can go up and fly around and sniff things, which is why we're not seeing the uptick we used to see in Belleville anymore. It's kind of moving, but we're seeing alerts that it's happening now in Pennsylvania.
And that's right about the time that the drone sightings began, right?
Yeah, drone sightings began about 4 weeks ago.
Okay, so when you take a look at this, if this information is indeed credible, why wouldn't the government say, it's us?
That's the crazy part about this. We've gotten very little information. Even yesterday on that call with the White House, literally mayors were told, you guys are seeing things. There's no credibility to this. We have one mayor, like I said, had drones over his house. I mean, we're no longer going to stand for not hearing the truth. I mean, our state government is failing us. They're not getting the answers from the federal government. And even though yesterday they told us that there's nothing to see here, today there's a top secret briefing going on in Congress. Well, what are they being told that we weren't told yesterday?
So that was the mayor of Bellevue, I think is, yes, which is a city in one of those 8 counties. Very candid, and he, just kind of laid out everything he knew, which, applaud the transparency.
I know.
Did not make me feel better.
No.
But what I found so funny about this whole thing is he's on, Good Day New York talking, straight facts. Meanwhile, Mayorkas is on ABC talking to George Stephanopoulos saying we're working with state and local officials. There's nothing going on that's wrong. And if there was, we would tell people. And it just trust us, trust us, trust us. And I'm looking at, Secretary Mayorkas like, all right, you said the same thing about the border. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, he's lost all trust. That's long gone. But it's disturbing because why can't you tell us? Why? Like, if it's nothing to worry about, then tell us.
Everything you said made sense too. Like that maybe they're tracking something.
Yeah.
But you can't. He's admitting the truth of there was a drone 6 feet above another mayor's house in New Jersey. You can't tell us that we're not seeing what we're seeing.
Yeah, just wild. Well, I loved the fact that during Trump's press conference at Mar-a-Lago on Monday, for one, it's so refreshing to have a president that's doing press conferences again, president-elect still, but is doing press conferences, that's taking a lot of questions. He spent about half of the time just giving his own remarks, about half of his time taking questions, and spoke to so many different things, like we talked about. He spoke to the drones, but then he also spoke to the MAHA movement and to a lot of concern around vaccines and what's going to happen with vaccines and the rollout. And there has been all this concern given RFK's background and that he has been tapped to head the Department of Health and Human Services, and his comments that he's made. Some folks are kind of freaking out of like, oh my goodness, is he going to try and like ban all vaccines or something like that, which has been very clear, and Trump's been very clear, we're not doing that. But this was an interesting kind of exchange around specifically the polio vaccine. Should we go ahead and roll that clip?
I think
let's go ahead and listen to that exchange.
It's going to happen very quickly. I think you're going to find that Bobby he's a very rational guy. I found him to be very rational. No, nothing, you're not going to lose the polio vaccine. That's not going to happen. I saw what happened with the polio. I have friends that were very much affected by that. I have friends from many years ago, and they have, obviously, they're still in not such good shape because of it.
So, this is a conversation that I think is long overdue. Like, what are the effects of vaccines, specifically on kids, and what RFK has said, what Trump has said he wants RFK to do is a lot of reports and a lot of digging, and specifically on this topic of autism. And is there a line between giving kids more and more vaccines at younger ages and this uptick in autism? The CDC reports that in the year 2000, on average, 1 in every 150 kids was on the autism spectrum. Now, as of 2020, when they did that study again, it was 1 in every 36 kids. So massive increase. Some people argue, well, we're just getting a lot better at identifying it and diagnosing it than we used to be. I think that's part of it. But that's too significant, in my opinion, of an increase in 20 years to go from 1 in every 150 to 1 in every 36. Like something is happening there.
Oh, absolutely. as we were talking about before we started rolling, my husband and I are expecting our first child in February. And so, thank you. So it's one thing to be, talking about vaccines in our own personal lives, but then we are about to be gifted a child to steward. And we were given the vaccine paperwork at our last appointment.
Oh, wow.
And on the newborn vaccine schedule, there are 15 vaccines. As soon as a, 6 to, God forbid, a 10-pound baby, if she's that large. But as soon as they come out, this tiny human is pumped full of so many vaccines, full of crazy chemicals. I mean, they're getting an STD vaccine the moment they come out for hepatitis B. And the only clinical founding for that, Callie and Casey Means talk about this all the time, is just in case they were to step on a needle at the playground, a 24-hour-old child.
Oh my gosh.
And they've asked, the head of so many different hospitals this same exact question of, how is this your only scientific founding for this vaccine? Has there ever been a case of a baby accidentally getting stabbed with a needle that has hepatitis B on it at a playground in their first year of life? And there's no cases of it. And so exactly what President Trump is saying here, there just needs to be clear studies on this. And as my husband and I are digging into vaccine research, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. We are using the Weston A. Price Foundation. We are using some well-trusted books and well-trusted friends who have gone into the weeds and created massive Excel sheets. But there's just not a lot of clear-cut information because as so many other industries are saturated by, big pharma, big tech, whatever the big of that industry is, they just control the messaging. And so we need some clear-cut science.
Totally. I mean, how many vaccines can you name that you received in the first year of your life? I have no idea.
Get those little vaccine cards. Well, and it's increased so much just since when we were born. I think it's, at least doubled, if not tripled.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, very, very sick, because they just keep adding them. And I appreciate the fact, a lot of things about RFK, but I think he really hits the nail on the head in that he goes right to the heart of it and he discusses how much money these companies are making because of these vaccines. And we're lying to ourselves if we say it's not about the profit.
Absolutely.
It is. They're making a ton of money and they might say, well, it's not harming anything. Well, we don't know that.
Right. And it's not just autism. That was an excellent example. But there are so many other chronic diseases that probably can be mapped back to some sort of intervention from a hospital. I'm not saying that for sure because I haven't done any research on those, but
we know that chronic diseases are on the rise.
Yeah, but chronic diseases are on the rise, especially in children. And, it just doesn't take a ton of digging to see the side effects. I mean, we've talked about this a million times on the show. We have no idea sometimes you go into a procedure knowing only some of the side effects because they go through them so quickly. Like, you really have to review the paperwork. The same with birth control and IUDs and all that crazy.
Yeah. Thank you, Isabel Brown.
Yes, thank you, Isabel Brown. But there's just so much that we don't know about healthcare that has become commonplace and the medical standard. What does that even mean anymore? We have no idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we've seen the backlash with the COVID vaccine. That was my radicalization point, if you will. And of those 15 vaccines that are on the newborn schedule, the COVID-19 vax is on there.
Of course.
And then at their checkup appointments, they're pushing the booster. And you have to have well thought out written disagreements and rebuttals as to why you're not giving your child these vaccines. And if you don't show up with them, then you're forced to take them.
I think that's frustrating. Just I don't have kids yet, but thinking about that I shouldn't have to go into my pediatrician's office with my child essentially ready to do battle. That should not be the norm, and yet that has become the norm, unless you find a doctor that's on board with being crunchy, which is like searching for a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. We actually were making a pre-baby to-do list over Christmas break. And, on mine is make a birth plan, make all these things, get the nursery ready. And my husband's is to write out all of our vaccine rebuttals. And so he will be writing out all of our thought processes as to why we're not going
husband.
to. I know.
Not a good one.
And I think all of this comes back to President Trump said this at the same press conference, I think later on, is he doesn't believe in mandates. He was firmly against it during COVID-19.
RFK said the same
RFK
thing.
says the same things and same thing. And when you think about it, yeah, I mean that a mandate totally goes against our basic civil or our basic rights, constitutional rights. Thank you. And having to fight for those in the hospital. That shouldn't be, the new airport where you're just willing to accept whatever the TSA agent, in this case a doctor, is going to do to you. That shouldn't become the norm, but that's what they want, or at least Big Pharma. That's what they want.
Well, and I think this is a little bit of a bunny trail, but I think this is part of the reason why home births have become so popular.
Totally.
Is because a woman doesn't, even if she has the capability and has the information to be advocating, obviously she doesn't want to be in labor and having to be like, no, I don't want this, I don't want this, and having to advocate for herself.
Like you just went through a traumatic event.
Yeah.
Or like still on the drugs from having a C-section and they're coming up to you asking all these questions or
Yeah. Just absolutely wild. Well, I would love to jump in and hear a little bit of your story.
Let's do it.
And we have here with us your product, which is so exciting. God's Goop. And I want to start with just by asking, what is beef tallow? Let's start there.
The number one question on my frequently asked questions page. It is simply rendered beef fat.
Okay.
So as pure and simple as it gets, it is fat from a cow.
Okay.
And while that may sound gross, there are a lot of incredible uses for it. And I can dive into that.
Yeah. Also, I mean, it sounds gross, but like if you look at the ingredient list of a lot of common day moisturizers, that also sounds gross. But
yes,
please walk us through this.
Because I think, like, as we talk about this, what we put in, as we've talked about a little bit, what we put in and on our bodies is a big deal. Like that is our health.
Absolutely. Well, I'll start from the beginning.
Okay.
Yes.
Give us the story.
Give us the story. So whenever my husband and I were dating, we thought of this term in a joking sense that has become a very serious term in our life that we now try to live by. We like to call ourselves Edenist. So how would it have been in the Garden of Eden before the world became broken and sinful? And so searching for what is natural, what are the God-given resources that he blessed us with here on earth to both steward and to consume. And beef tallow is one of those. Obviously, that's a bunny trail of a lot of the things God gave us. It's way far down the line as far as importance. But it truly is this incredible resource that for centuries was used for a million things. I mean, before we had Sephora, before we had Ulta with a different ad in every single window at Christmas time, women were using tallow. And we really take this Edenistic mindset seriously. And so after getting married, we got married in March of this year. I got pregnant in May. And I became even more serious about not consuming toxins, whether it be by mouth or by skin. I mean, putting something on your skin is putting it straight into your bloodstream. Whenever you eat something, it has to go through the digestive process before it ever makes it there. Putting something on your skin is a very underrated vehicle of getting something to your body. And so I wanted to make sure as I was growing another human, I wasn't just constantly ridding her with toxins from the outside in based on what I was eating and what I was putting on my skin at night. And so I started looking at beef tallow products, the best natural options for that. And I thought, how hard can it be? How hard can it be, Shirley? And if there's one thing about me, it's that I'm a hobby girl. I go through manic episodes and want to just get to the bottom of something. And we use a co-op here in Virginia to get our raw milk and our grass-fed beef and everything, and they sell tallow. And so one Sunday afternoon, I put some Googling to use, figured out how to whip up some tallow, whipped it with shea butter, some castor oil, some essential oils, and the next thing I knew, I was obsessed with it. This was during the summer, so we had bad sunburns. It was curing our sunburns instantly overnight.
Wow.
While keeping our skin tan and moisturized. We were throwing it on everything. Wow. My husband started using it as beard oil. I mean, we were just obsessed. Yeah. So the next round I made an extra 12 little jars. And I was like, let's see what'll happen. Posted it on my Instagram story. And the next thing I knew, there was a wait list of 50 folks.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Did it again, wait list of 100 folks.
Wow.
There is an
Nice.
appetite
Yeah.
for this. The MAHA movement is very much to thank. Obviously, RFK and Callie and everybody in that sphere, just exposing the amount of chemicals we're taking in and fake processed junk, whether it be via skin or via mouth, and decided to just full send it. So God's Goop was born. It's all whipped beef tallow. It's a lot of fun. Make it in my kitchen there in Virginia with our Virginia raised grass-fed beef tallow. And it has just continued my obsession with beef.
So it's all for external use.
You
Skin.
could technically eat
You
it.
could technically eat it.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
We have half of the tallow in our fridge for God's Goop,
Okay.
half of the tallow to do our once a month big burger fry situation. So we fry all of our fries in tallow, everything like that. But at the same time, it's moisturizing and, incredibly vitamin rich and nutrient dense. It's a topical multivitamin. And so, I'm a big believer in supplements. And so as I'm taking all of these supplements while being pregnant as on prenatals, I also view God's Goop, my tallow, as a topical one. And so as I'm putting on my skin, I know that it's giving vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K, all to my body and to hers.
That's awesome.
And so it's multi-use there.
And what have you seen, you described the sunscreen. Have you seen any other health related clarity of skin related outcomes? Yeah, benefits.
Yeah. So now this is another rabbit hole. My husband and I don't use sunscreen, which is controversial. But whenever you're cutting seed oils out of your diet, whenever you're in the sun at a consistent rate, it shouldn't be burning that bad. Now, every once in a while we overcook. We definitely overdo it. We like to be lobsters because we're both obsessed with the sun. But whenever you're using tallow, you are less prone to be sunburned. It's naturally anti-inflammatory and antibacterial. It is truly the best of the best part of the calf. This is a fun fact, but in reading the Old Testament, whenever you look at what they were sacrificing, what God was calling them to sacrifice on the altar of these offerings, he asked for the liver, the kidneys, the heart, and the fat of each one of those calves. And he wanted the fatty calves. Whenever the prodigal son comes home, they kill the fatty calf, the best of the best. And we have gotten so far away from knowing fat is a good thing here in America. And that's slowly starting to come back. We know our good fats and everything. But, it's funny. One day you're throwing chemicals on your face, the next you're just asking and begging for the beef fat. Let me throw it all over my face, please. Because, the Lord wouldn't have called for it if it wasn't the best of the best.
Yeah. And you can put it all over. You can do face, body.
All over.
I'm just
I had a friend use it as a hair mask one time. It was a little heavy for that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you have really dry hair, it might work. But all over.
No, because I'm I'm friends with Crystal, so I have a million different skin products, and I'm looking through them now on EWG. I'm gonna have to try this. I'm definitely gonna have to try this.
So what all is in here besides the beef tallow?
So it's beef tallow, raw shea butter,
Okay.
castor oil, coconut oil, which helps with the smell because it is beefy, and then essential oils. So then it's got a fresh scent to it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's 5 things.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
simple.
it.
Do you use different fragrances of essential oils in them?
I do. So the original is lavender, frankincense, orange, and rosemary.
Love it.
All good for face and anti-inflammatory, all of those good properties. And then ever so often we do a fun version, whether it's peppermint or something like that.
Cute, seasonal.
Seasonal.
That's smart. That's good business sense right there.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
So this is the ultimate stocking stuffer. We're not sponsoring, but I guess we kind of are.
See, I'm very honored right now. I'm very honored for this marketing.
It's a MAHA Christmas, Virginia.
It's a MAHA Christmas. This is what goes in your MAHA Christmas stocking. So if people want to get on that order list, how do they do that?
Oh, yeah. Well, there was an influx of orders over the past couple of weeks, and so we're actually on a pre-order list right now. But you can join the pre-order list, www.godsgoop.com, Instagram @godsgoop.
I love it.
And there's a contact me wait list, and you can find all the resources there.
I love it. Well, we'll put it on our Instagram as well.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to try this. And maybe give some certain family members as well the opportunity. I'm like, they're probably watching. I don't think I can say.
Which
You might get this.
that's a funny thing. Whenever my parents' generation, they still haven't wrapped their minds around it. My mom's like, be fat. And I'm like, yes, yes. The same thing that we're raising on the ranch at home is what you're eventually putting on your face at night.
Yeah, but it works.
It works.
It works. Oh, I love it. All right. Well, don't forget, put in your pre-order for God's Scoop. We are going to play a game here in just a second in honor of Christmas.
Yeah.
But before we do that, want to flag, as this is our last show of 2024. We will be back, obviously, in January. But if you're like, oh, I just need more good content over Christmas, for one, make sure you're following Problematic Women on Instagram, but also be sure to check out the Daily Signal, our podcast. We will be releasing some special interview editions over Christmas break. Have had the honor of having some really, really good conversations with some awesome folks, including with family members of hostages. We've released some of those videos on the Daily Signal's YouTube page, and we're also going to be releasing them on the Daily Signal podcast as well. So if you are hungry for more great content over Christmas, if you're not, check out the Daily Signal. But without further ado, it's Christmas time.
Okay.
Here we go.
And so we're going to do a game. I don't actually know how this is going to go since we just have our laps.
Do you have a little? Oh, here.
Oh yeah, she needs one of those. So we're gonna do a good old fashioned wrapping, Christmas wrapping. And I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. See, I'm too competitive for this. My adrenaline just spiked.
Should we do 4 pieces of tape? I'm gonna give myself 4.
Oh yeah, I think
give
everyone
everyone
needs
4.
at least 4. Here's my shoebox, but I'm gonna. Oh, okay.
All right, so I'll walk them through. Although,
Yeah, walk us through what we're doing here.
all right,
Kristen.
so actually, boxes. I have a box right here. So we have different boxes, actually the same, and we are
Mine's
going
different.
to. Yours is different
Mine's
because
shoe
Virginia's
box.
different. But because of that, we are going to take. What did we decide? 30 or 60 seconds?
I think we need 60
Okay,
seconds.
Virginia wants 60 seconds
Yeah.
to we're gonna try to wrap these boxes up, and we're going to compare and contrast. So if you're listening to the podcast, go ahead, figure out what timestamp you're at, pause, turn on YouTube once you're, if you're driving, don't do that, but once you are home,
You
turn on
wanna watch
YouTube
us.
and check out who's gonna be the best rapper. We're gonna have 60 seconds. I'll pull up a clock, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I feel like let's because it's going to be wild to be grabbing it. So let's pre-select your ribbon choice.
oh yes.
So we have these cute little ribbon. You have a thicker, if you want like a little thicker with gold on the ends. This is like my random wrapping box from home. A little bit of gold ribbon. If you want to go really bright with a lot of
You have
glitter,
so much ribbon.
I do. This is
impressed.
because I don't throw things away.
That's okay.
From year to year. Like, we can say that. Oh, this one's cute. Did I pull this one out with the candy cane ribbon?
Love it.
Would anyone like a ribbon for your package?
I'll take that red sparkly.
The red
take the
sparkly
gold
one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This, I'm trying to see. I want to get you one that's not insane. I'll give you 2. This one's longer and this one's shorter.
How
so
long
you
is
can
the
Thank
gold
decide.
you.
one?
This one?
No, the gold. This guy.
They're both little short.
Okay.
But you could do something with that if you
No.
want. No. Denied.
Denied.
I have cut ones.
Oh, you have cut ones. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
just grab
if
one
you
of
want
those.
to cut one.
Is it okay if I copy you?
No, because we do. have
It's
different
fine.
shapes.
Okay.
This is a competition,
All right.
Kristen.
So I've got my little, this guy. Everyone's got their tape, right? Let me
Okay,
grab
hold
this
on.
one.
I have to put the lid on my box, and I have to make sure I have
I was
my
really-
ribbon.
I was really trying to just.
The mics are really the
start without
obstacle
her.
here.
Yeah, we can move the mics, right? Or
A little bit. Yeah, we won't be able to.
It just
still be
adds
able
to it.
hear us.
yeah, you're
Just
right.
adds to it.
All right.
Okay, so
I have a timer,
we have a timer.
and I will start it whenever. Okay, everyone else put their paper underneath their box. So I'm gonna do it too.
Gosh. Okay, hold on. I gotta put this on the floor.
Okay.
All
And
right. Whoa. Okay, hold on. All right. Ready?
set, go.
Bam.
Bam. We're wrapping here.
This is where we
Wrapping.
need the hardcore. Oh no.
Here we go. Line it up. I didn't cut this very well.
No, it's okay though. I'm just kidding.
Wow, I'm just kidding. I feel like,
Or
oh,
am I?
sorry. I feel like you guys are probably just hearing like crunch, 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 crunch.
Crunchy crunch, like the.
Oh, this is so stressful.
Oh, actually, this is kind of stressful.
I think we should have done 90 seconds.
Yeah, this is not gonna be cute.
Oh.
Oh my gosh! Why is? Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Where are we at time-wise?
Not very much.
Oh
10
my God,
seconds.
10 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not winning. Oh no.
Oh, I'm ruining your
Time.
ribbon, Virginia.
Okay, I'm just gonna tie this. It doesn't count.
Oh, well, Virginia.
That is.
Oh, my word.
See,
I
if
think
you had
Virginia
if you had time to finesse that bow,
You know,
100%.
thank you. The
Yeah.
bow was a massive disappointment there.
I mean, but I can see you just needed like time to fluff it.
I'm wondering, did you measure the paper based off of yours?
No. I measured it off of your
I know.
boxes and then mine. Oh.
Oh, yikes. Just to say,
Okay. Well,
the
so
guest
we've
was
got-
discriminated against.
It was, yeah, we were. It was the beef tallow. I'm just kidding.
I rigged it, guys. I totally rigged it.
Okay, so I think we'll hold up our boxes so everyone online can see, right? Yes. Okay.
Great. Okay.
360 view, and then our producer will be voting on who. I think Tim, just point to whoever.
Who do you like best?
No, that's not the question.
Oh,
Wow.
I'm
Well
honored.
done.
Even though half of it's
Thank
not
you.
wrapped.
Done.
Thank you.
It's definitely. Oh, here we go again.
Okay, we're good.
This was supplier error.
Yes, you're right. No,
Well,
I mean,
and
yours
it would
looks great.
still work. So
It
Tim,
still
she
works.
has two. Virginia has two different ribbons.
I was gonna say, how did you have
Fine.
time for 2 ribbons?
I just tied it really fast, but this
It
little
looks
part got
great.
stuck.
No,
so,
I'm sorry. I appreciate that so much.
You know,
That is incredibly impressive.
How do you guys do? So I consider this like the classic fold on the end.
Oh.
But I know there's like all these different methods for
What do you
how
do?
you do the end. Here, I'll take it off.
It looks exactly like Virginia.
It's the classic.
It's the
I
classic.
think we did it the same way. I feel bad because apparently I cut the paper wrong for you.
Fine.
So I do the classic, like, okay, so you've like taped it on the bottom and then
gonna
you
show
fold
us.
up
Oh.
and then, yeah, you go up and then in, and then down.
Oh, that's a new strategy for me.
Wait, really? How do you do it?
Well, I flip it upside down.
Yeah.
Maybe we do the same thing,
I
just
think we do
upside
the same-
down.
Yeah, I think, because it's, you're
Why does
upside
yours look so
down.
much better than mine then?
Well, because I messed up and cut your paper
No,
too
you
short.
didn't. It's okay.
It's okay, Kristen. I can take it.
I'm not mad. I'm over it. I do it differently though.
How do you do it?
Okay, so that's not much to like write home about, but so I fold it, right? We got this. You
Yep.
fold it kind of like you did.
Okay.
Then I fold it over
Oh,
again.
you do the fold over.
and then it's like this.
Oh.
And if this was long enough, it would look good, but it's not.
So is this a generation? Is this a generational thing?
I don't know, actually.
Is this how your mother wraps presents?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I
Okay.
often put it in a bag though, so I don't. I was kind of like the underdog of this competition, I feel like.
Wow.
You did great.
Excuses.
No.
Excuses.
Just valid reasons I didn't win.
Oh, you did great. You did great. All right. Well, we had a question, I think. No, I'm
was-
like,
oh,
what are we doing?
I think it was in the spirit of MAHA Christmas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
What
thank you.
would a MAHA Santa, aka
Mm.
RFK, bring and put in your stocking? What would be on your top wish list,
What
other
do-
than the tallow? Because we've talked. Obviously, that's number
Obviously,
one.
beef tallow is
Honored.
number
What
one.
would be something that you like?
What is Maha Santa bringing you?
Yeah, that you want.
Number one. Oh, am I going first?
No, I mean we can take a second to think.
Hmm.
TikTok.
I mean,
Okay.
you know, yeah.
There's a couple of interesting things on the
Okay.
list.
Walk us.
I haven't totally researched them.
Mm.
A friend recommended grounding sheets. And so have you all heard of grounding? Where your
Yes.
electrical current in your body is then recentered with the earth's.
I mean, it's
in
pretty
a,
much
in a
laying on the ground,
non-hippie
right?
crystal way, you know? But apparently they make grounding sheets. I have no idea how they
Like
work.
for your bed.
like for your bed. So at night, whenever you go to sleep, the electrical current in your body is reset.
It must be like a certain fabric.
This feels a little like a hoax.
See,
Yeah.
I
Like a
totally
weighted
agree. That's why I said I have not researched it. But I
But
mean,
Santa's bringing it.
if it was given to me, I absolutely would do it. Absolutely.
Oh, 100%. If it was
100%.
given to me, I will receive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So
I
look
wanna
into
go
the
grounded.
grounding sheets.
Okay, look at the grounding
Interesting.
sheets.
Mhm.
I think my MAHA
Mm.
Santa would bring me. Ooh, I don't know. I was waiting for your answers.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Does this count? I think I would want more cast iron in my life.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, that
for
could.
sure.
Yeah, I have one great cast iron pan, but I think I need to lean more fully into the cast iron life. and
Totally.
increase those iron benefits of cast iron.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
I think. I mean, this is what I was going to say a second ago, and it's just not changing. So all of the supplements that
all of them.
are healthy,
And
protein's
expensive.
expensive.
So expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the good type. I just got a new protein that's like it's first of all American made, so that's huge for me. Love
Love it.
that. And
Which brand is it?
Promix.
Oh,
Mhm.
amazing.
I made a protein coffee this morning. We're getting used to the fluffy coffee, but I love it. It tastes good.
Fluffy coffee.
It's like thick.
okay.
Because it's a protein shake.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's what Maha Santa, he'd bring me gains through these supplements.
Maha Santa's bringing you guys. What are you all doing for Christmas?
I'm going to Disney World.
I love it. I love
Amazing.
it.
I'm going, yeah, so that'll be fun.
That will be
no,
fun.
I mean, the dates aren't exact. I have no idea when I'll be there, but yeah, we're going to Star Wars Land and a few other of the fun attractions, which is a challenge because you have to find healthy options at the theme park. So I'll have to report back on that.
Ooh.
Good luck out there.
Spoils. I don't know if that's
I
gonna
have
happen.
this vivid memory as a child of being in, I think it was Yes, it was Animal Kingdom.
Mm.
And I was there with my best friend, and her family's very, very healthy. They were healthy before it was cool.
Mm.
And so
One of the originals.
exactly, the OG.
I wish.
And we went to this little cafe and got a bowl of strawberries with whipped cream on top. And it was like the best thing and probably the only healthy thing in all of Animal
Yeah.
Kingdom, the bowl of
I'll
strawberries.
look out for that.
Yeah, so look for the bowl of strawberries.
I'll send you a photo.
It was in a little whale bowl. It was this little whale.
And it probably cost like what, $30?
I don't know. I wasn't paying for it. I was 11. So my family is going to the beach. We have a
Nice.
tradition of going to the beach at Christmas. and
Amazing.
I love it. Yeah.
So you'll get a little tan.
Get a little bit tan. I mean, it's still chilly, but it's like plenty warm enough to walk and
Mhm.
get lots of good time outside and seafood. So I'm very, very excited for that. What
That
are
is
you all-
exciting.
Well, you all are.
We're
here.
staying here. That's actually our first week we're not allowed to travel.
Crazy.
So
wild.
we'll be here having our Maha Christmas, and my
love it.
husband and I, and then family will visit afterwards for a little bit. And so really, I'll take a little small break from God's goop and try to build a crib. That's the plan. That's the
You
main
said
plan.
build, and I wasn't expecting crib to be the next thing, but that makes sense.
You know,
I'm impressed.
I took a step back the other day and realized that I had used all of this nesting energy to start a small business
love
instead of building a crib. And so I really have to get my priorities straight here.
I really do. You know?
I think you're doing pretty good.
I'm excited to see this crib. I want to see pictures. That's
You got it.
It's going to be
You
made out
got
of
it.
tallow. I'm just kidding.
Actually, just using the bones.
Oh wow, yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, Merry Christmas to our audience. Thank you guys for it's been a big year for Problematic Women. We kicked off video
And America.
and America. That too.
But problematic women, definitely.
First Problematic Women, then no. Definitely first America. But yeah, thank you guys for going on the journey with us. And we have been so privileged to have so many amazing guests on the show this year. So thank you
Thank y'all for
rounding out
having
our
me.
2024.
I'm honored to be the last episode.
It's
Last
been
episode,
epic.
ending with a bang.
Yeah.
Gosh, yeah, just so many memories this year. And I think above all, it's just been so fun to actually have our faces on camera.
You know what we look like now.
You know what we look like now.
It's that moment when you like see the face behind the voice.
Yeah,
and you're
you're
like,
like,
that's
wait, really?
not what I was thinking.
100%. Well, Merry Christmas. We will be back on January 8th.
We'll be so back.
We'll be so back on January 8th to ring in the new year ahead of the inauguration.
12 days before inauguration.
Have a very Merry Christmas.
Y'all have a good one.